Huskies get it into Adams, full court heave. He hits! He hits! He hits! He hits! From midcourt, Jalen Adams with 0.8 of a second to go.
Welcome to the 2017 Frontier Communications American Championship. Semifinal number 2, the Bearcats facing UConn. Now, twice they handled UConn during the regular season handily, but today they meet with a championship appearance on the line. In semifinal number 1, SMU, the top seed, got a star performance out of Sterling Brown. He dropped in 22 points, 6 out of 9 shooting, and the Mustangs have their championship date. So the final will be set when this one is finished. SMU awaiting the winner. Dave O'Brien alongside Doris Burke and Andy Katz. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Great to have you with us for this semifinal. We've seen this magical kind of run out of UConn before. We all have for many, many years. Are the Huskies at it again?
Well, there does seem to be something about the air of March which triggers a great run from the Huskies, but to do so, they're going to have to go through a Cincinnati team that has one of the most formidable defenses in the entire country. They hold teams to 38% shooting. And oh, by the way, though there is no first-teamer on this particular roster for Mick Cronin, guess what? They've got multiple guys that can make plays on the offensive end. And we begin with the point guard, Mr. Troy Copayne, a guy who has been to 3 NCAA tournaments. Mr. Jacob Evans and Kyle Washington, the new face, the lefty, coming from 3. They combined for 58. But the magic of March. Rodney Purvis got him through round 1. 18 of the 23 for Jalen Adams came in the second half to propel them against a Houston team that was putting game pressure on. Bring down the house, Jalen Adams.
And the house is certainly with the Huskies in a big, big way as Cincinnati wins the opening tip here in Hartford. Cincinnati winning the games during the regular season twice, 82-68 and 67-47. And Copayne gets them off to a great start on the Cincinnati side.
We have seen Cincinnati go to 6 straight NCAA tournaments, and they are formidable on the defensive end. But this is the best offensive team in Mick Cronin's history, and I can't wait to see what happens with them.
Adams launches, trying to return the favor, and it's tipped up and in. Looked like Brima got up there.
Well, one of the keys for Connecticut is transition defense. They don't want to give up any second chance points. They'd like to make Cincinnati play in a half court.
Bearcats easily got into the semifinal as they thumped Tulsa 81-60. Copayne, by the way, one of the great passers in the conference. Just a handful of assists away from the all-time record at Cincinnati. Purvis on the wing. As you mentioned, Doris, he had an outstanding game last night with 18 points. Made big shot after big shot. Brima on the baseline. One dribble down. A lot of contact and a travel. So no foul. A traveling violation. The big senior with a big grin.
Well, good communication as you see Kevin Ollie on the sideline. 10-2 record in the American Championship. Good officiating there, though. It looked like Carl Hess and the official at the hash were looking at each other, making sure they were on the same page. Travel before the foul on Brima. Strong
crew with Carl Hess, Mike Nance, and Ron Groover for our second semifinal. Johnson trying to penetrate. Nearly taken away. It is Washington, the talented junior, who's had such a big year. Flips it up there and airmailed it. Tipped on the baseline. And it'll be Cincinnati ball. Just 1 on the shot clock as you look at Mick Cronin, his 11th year for Cincinnati. They hang their hats on defense. He's allowing only 57 points a game.
Anytime you're holding your opponent below 40% shooting, you are doing a heck of a job defensively.
This is going to require a tip. And there goes the shot clock. So no basket. Clark didn't make it anyway.
And that's going to get Mick Cronin 3 guys off the bench. Incredibly frustrated at the start by his group. So Evans and Washington, out they go.
Here comes the cavalry. Just a couple minutes in and already Mick Cronin making a big change. His team trying for their 29th win of the season after running by Tulsa, the 7th seed, the quarterfinals.
Mick Cronin, a coach's kid. His father, Hep, an outstanding high school coach, used to tag along all the time to the high school games.
He learned well. He's done a heck of a job for Cincinnati. They're the number 15 team in the country. They are headed to the tournament regardless of the outcome the next couple of days. Adams whirling inside. Brima forced it up there. No whistle. Picked off, though, by UConn. They get it back.
They're letting him play both ends. I thought Brima got away with a hold on Washington, so the physicality is interesting to start.
Purvis, and that one thrown away. In transition, Copain draws the foul. He almost made the basket.
You can see why transition defense was important to the Connecticut Huskies. How about the pressure that Jacob Evans with that handle can apply at the rim, changing ends of the floor.
Vital with the personal, his first.
Now, is he hurt? He looks like he's holding that right arm. He took a pretty good whack on that foul.
Senior from Virginia. 4th in the nation in assist to turnover ratio. So reliable with the ball, and now at the line. Evans at the line.
Yeah, how about this young man? Let's take a look at the shot he took, because I felt like he was holding that hand. Oh, yeah, that'll sting. That stings. Got him right on the wrist.
Evans about 73% foul shooter. And a finalist for the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year award.
Well, the emergence of him, he made a big leap, as that graphic showed you, in terms of his points per game and efficiency with which he's doing it.
So a 4-2 Cincinnati lead. Purvis for Brima on top. Adams, quick pass, Facey, won it back. Tipped around, Brima right up, and a foul. Amita Brima working hard in there, the 7-footer. Brima with 3 rebounds already as he'll go to the line. Little hoop scoop on Brima, speaking 6 languages. Now we'll scuffle at the foul line, 62%. But look very smooth on the first one. And Cincinnati will go to the bench and bring on Gary Clark, the junior.
You know there's some bigs who would love to be 62% from the free throw line.
Yes.
Some bigs in the NBA would love to be 62% from the free throw line. But you know what? I love how personally offended you are by poor free throw shooters. It cracks me up.
I'm always amazed that most foul shooters are pretty competent.
Yeah.
But a lot of big men don't shoot them well for a lot of different reasons. Jumping inside, and a blocking foul on the play. And Kevin Ollie upset. And that foul will go on Adams, number 1 on Adams.
Well, let's see. Does he give him a little push? Oh, yeah, that's easily an offensive. I think that's a bad call, frankly. I thought that was offensive.
So Evans to put it in play, 16:49 to go here in the first half. Copain on the baseline, no whistle there. Straight on Evans, yes, and he'll make 39% beyond the three-point line.
I'll tell you, and that was a step or two back from the line. That's some big-time confidence and range.
Yeah, 20 against Tulsa in the quarterfinals on 8 of 10. Adams has been playing on a tender ankle. Vital got a great look, nothing but net.
How about the pass from Brima? I mean, the catch and pitch immediately, and the crowd is ready to go.
Copain slamming on the brakes. Long jumper, and that one's swished in by Copain.
Shot makers. Mick Cronin's got to be thinking, I've got shot makers now.
Adams scooping in. That's going to be goaltending. Count that basket, a 1-point game early. And we will take the break. 15:51 to go. First half and a tight one.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Frontier Communications, official sponsor of the American Athletic Conference. And Axe, find your magic.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier, triple-double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
Hello?
Almost didn't recognize you. Sweet new ride.
Thanks.
What'd you get, a promotion? Wait, are you our boss now?
You're the boss. I'm gonna need more vacation days.
Oh, can I call in sick today?
Guys, I don't have that kind of power, but I can park this car with my mind.
Now you're just showing off.
Lease the first ever all-wheel drive Infiniti QX30 crossover at your local Infiniti retailer.
Any guy can catch a ride, but only you can take her on a journey. You got something. Own it and smell great with new Axe U, a unique masculine fragrance.
With Odor Blocker, Old Spice's most powerful antiperspirant, I escaped sweat's curfew on my body, and I was free to break down barriers between man and beast. Finally, the answers to all my questions would be revealed. Excuse me?
Just getting started, our second semifinal of the day, Cincinnati and UConn. Let's bring in Andy Katz. And Andy, we talk about, that magical March kind of run that UConn may be on again. Are they doing it once more?
That's right, Dave. They got to win, obviously, this one, and then on Sunday. And in talking to those from UConn, including former head coach Hall of Famer Jim Calhoun, there's a sense that if UConn can pull this off here, it would be bigger and more impressive than what they did in 2011 with Kemba Walker, 5 days, when you won those 4 games up in Madison Square Garden, or even 2 years ago because they had Shabazz Napier. They don't have a proven NBA player on this team, and all that this season started with, those 2 losses at home to Wagner, Northeastern, all the injuries they've had to deal with, the fact that they had a chance to write their season at the end of the season and still lost games to Houston, to East Carolina, to SMU, to Cincinnati. So them to turn it on here over this couple of days here in Hartford, everyone, the consensus is this would be more impressive.
The 2 losses early were with Terry Larrier and Alterique Gilbert. And obviously injuries have played a piece of the puzzle for the Connecticut Huskies. And Kevin Ollie, he's got the best recruiting class in the American coming in. And I think the emergence of Vance Jackson and Vital, because of the experience, it will be crucial next year.
O'Payne with a miss, but a rebounding foul underneath. And Brima got hit on the head. Foul will go against Facey.
Looks like Clark. Does Clark get a tooth knocked out? He just took something out of his mouth. I don't know if he just lost a tooth, but he handed it to an assistant coach who's now given it to... It's a tooth, I think.
That is a tooth. Wow. Well, you don't see that every day, thankfully.
I don't want to see it again. I can promise you. I'm sorry I looked at it.
Goodness. Somebody's got a dental appointment on Monday. Brima also got hit, so a lot of contact. We expect it to be a very physical game, don't you? Maybe not a tooth-losing kind of a game. Brima has to go to the locker room.
Yeah, I think that these 2 guys, they bump heads. That's where he lost his tooth. Oh. Mm-hmm. That's hand-to-hand combat. I think, yes, I expect a physical game. I expect the officials to clean this up because this is too physical right now.
Yeah, they're going to the monitor right now to check on that last series. Cincinnati on top 10-9.
Oh, man.
Now, this is, every mom's nightmare. Your son comes off the playground. Here you go, Mom, and hand her a tooth.
I'm going to say I would like the next time to have a little warning from the truck about what I might see on the screen.
Give you another look at the contact that knocked out a tooth. Brima tangling up there with number 11, Gary Clark, the junior.
He's touching his head. Like, you wonder, did Clark, his tooth at any point hit the top of his head?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Ugh.
So a stoppage in play right away in our second semifinal. 15:26 to go. And a sizable delay. Give you a look at our bracket as SMU is into the championship game as they held off UCF earlier today down the stretch, making their foul shots, making big shots, and the #1 seed and the outright champion in the American during the regular season into the title game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Clark showing off the evidence of the physical play early. Copain to put it in. Evans, he drains it. Three-pointer from the corner.
He's feeling good early.
Evans averaging 13 points a game. His mom, Teresa, was a point guard at Grambling. He's also a very good passer and picked off by Cumberland. He'll attack and lay it in.
Well, he's waiting and he's lying in wait for that pass. He was perfectly positioned, Cumberland. Jalen Adams, if you're going to make that kind of pass, you better have eye contact with your teammate and have them get into your passing window.
Facey up to set the screen. UConn looking for a hot hand. Jackson on the baseline. Forced that pass. Nearly stolen away. Jackson came back to retrieve it. And a whistle, a tie-up on the play. UConn does have the possession arrow.
Let's watch Cumberland step in the passing lane. I mean, he was sitting there the whole time. You're just waiting on that. Really bad pass by Jalen Adams. I'm unaccustomed to seeing him make that kind of silly play.
Adams had 23 points against Houston in last night's victory, 18 of those in the second half. Once again, the officials are going to the monitor. And they want to check the shot clock now to see if that's correct. Well, let's hope for all of our sakes this is not the way the rest of this game is going to be, where every 3 minutes they're going to the monitor.
No question.
For something. You have a big crowd in the building on this second semifinal. 15-9 Cincinnati. Stephen Enoch at 6'11" into the lane. Missed badly there. And on the line is going to be a little shove and a foul. Foul will go against the Huskies and on Facey, #2.
I was wondering if he was on the line. So let's see, does Facey push him? He does a good job toe tapping. And the officials think that's enough contact. With some of the stuff we've seen, I'm a little surprised at that one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And unless they're trying to clean it up, and they're going to have a tight whistle from here on out. Let's see.
They've had other opportunities to clean it up.
My goodness gracious, no question.
More lets fly. Vital with the rebound, and here come the Huskies trying to push the tempo a bit. They've knocked Cincinnati out of this tournament 3 years in a row. The swing for Jackson. He can hit a three-pointer. The follow-away 2. That's not there. And another whistle on the deck.
But Jackson is doing something in the last couple of weeks that I've not seen him do. And he put the ball on the floor and attacked the rim with a vicious dunk in their win yesterday. That time puts it on the deck again to make a play. Facey's going to go out with the 2. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that this kid can now balance that spot-up shooting ability with that.
Kyle Washington also stepping out of the game with 2 for Cincinnati. Vital with a kick into the corner, and another whistle with 13:39 to go in the first half. And that blocking foul against Moore, the 6'8" junior. He picks up his first.
It's a choppy start.
No question. Jackson for Adams. Here's Purvis trying to get going, and that's the way to do it with a three-pointer, giving UConn some life they really needed. Clark getting it inside for Moore. Got a good look, but no. Enoch with a kick out. Jackson air-mailed it over the top of the iron. Neither side with their offense locking in just yet. And a shove off the basketball. And a foul against the Huskies. He'll get Adams for his second.
He's going to have to play without fouling. And little frustration from Jalen Adams.
And a little bit from Kevin Ollie as well. Both Coach Ollie and Houston coach Kelvin Sampson thought the UConn crowd here in Hartford last night carried the Huskies to their quarterfinal win.
Well, I'm going to say this to you. There was a St. Patrick's Day parade downtown Hartford. There's swing oil in the building, and the crowd could get bigger and louder before it's all said and done.
Over the top, Clark, and he drops it in. So Cincinnati with a 17-12 lead as we go to Andy Katz.
So if you're watching this game, you're hearing the crowd a little bit more of a buzz than normal if you're watching most UConn games. And a large part of that is because you've got fans here that may not go to traditional UConn games because they don't want to pay sort of a seat fee or anything like that, or they're not donors, or they can't get season tickets. So what happens in tournaments like this, you got fans sitting in seats that are lower than normal, and you got a little bit of a boisterous crowd. So everyone's expecting this to be a louder, more energetic crowd. And by the way, yeah, the St. Patrick's Day parade, that doesn't hurt.
Evans with his second. UConn 10-2 all time in this tournament. Purvis just hit a three moments ago. Let's see if he becomes the go-to man. Vital, yes, that's a nice touch by the freshman out of Queens Village, New York. Brima pumped on the side. Vital with a couple of three-pointers early. Clark up against Facey and another whistle. And a foul against UConn with 11:56 to go in the half.
Well, UConn has made a couple of threes. Mr. Purvis had one. Purvis makes the pass. Mr. Vital gets him within two.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most refined models ever, including the LS, LX, and ES. Experience amazing.
Delicious freshly brewed coffee comes at a price. It's $1. Go to McDonald's and get $1 any size coffee or $2 small specialty beverage. And every sixth McCafe beverage is free with our app. Wake up and win the day.
Earning your cash back shouldn't be this complicated. Yet some cards limit where you earn bonus cash back to a few places and then change those places every few months. Enough with that. With Quicksilver from Capital One, you've always earned unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere. Welcome to Unlimited. What's in your wallet?
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserve.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USAA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we will be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
We gotta be aggressive right out the gate.
Tonight at the American semifinals,
the UConn Huskies look to earn a bid into the NCAA tournament.
We deserve this. All the stuff we've been through.
Purvis is just feeling it.
I just think we have to be tough. That's it.
Dominant performance tonight by the Bearcats.
I can definitely see the hunger, and I can hear it in his voice. It's really time to win.
Swatted away
if we end the season again on a Sunday, there's a chance you could play Thursday at noon in the NCAA tournament.
Cincinnati and UConn as they meet for the 24th time. UConn actually leads the all-time series, even though Cincinnati swept them during the regular season.
I got to believe that Cincinnati has had a conversation amongst that group. This is a proud, experienced team. You've got Troy Copain, who's off to a tremendous start. 2 field goals, 3 assists, so he's been involved in 5 of the 6 field goals, and he'll set the inbound here for Cincinnati.
Copain, a senior from Virginia. His mom, Renee, his #1 fan, has never missed a home game in Cincinnati, and she doesn't live right down the street. She lives in Virginia. She makes that about 8-hour drive for every single home game and rarely misses a road game either. He slices into the lane, and another whistle. There have been a lot of those early.
And here's the interesting piece about Troy Copain. You know, a year ago, he's a first-team American Conference player. He averages 13 points. He's down underneath 10. And to me, that's a sign of maturity from a senior, right? You could be selfish. You could be concerned about what your points per game is. Not this kid. This kid's about winning.
You look at what he did against UConn in the quarterfinals last year. This tournament's only been around a handful of years, but that's one of the great performances, 37 points against the Huskies. Second team all-conference. And the sportsmanship award winner, he makes 1 of 2.
So he's been involved in 15 of the 18 points scored by the Cincinnati Bearcats. And now they come with their 2-2-1 pressure.
UConn 16-16. 1 win away from playing for an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament after the upset of #3 seed Houston last night here. And the crowd just continues to get larger and larger every time they win. Vitale with a follow. It's a tough shot, doesn't touch anything.
Well, just a tremendous switch out defensively. Just a really good job staying with the shooter.
Johnson with a quick shot. No. Kevin Johnson, it's just 32% beyond the three-point line, so that's not a great shot for him. Brima back in. Here's Purvis. In and out. A rebound and a foul on the baseline. Purvis, for him, that's an excellent look, the way he's been shooting it. Johnson will pick up his first foul for Cincinnati. Rodney Purvis last night came back very strong after a first-half collision. He was knocked to the floor. He had to leave the court for a while.
I'll be honest, I was concerned he was going to go into concussion protocol because I thought when he stood up he looked a little shaky, but he went back to the locker room, he appeared okay, and boy did he respond.
Yeah, got 18. Made big shots, nearly stolen away. Purvis saves it. Shot clock down to 15. Vitale looking for the big guy. Brima on the baseline, around and out.
That's consecutive possessions where Cincinnati just gets a great challenge on the shot.
Johnson. Here's Evans. Clark again. Jumping into the paint. Can't finish it. A clean block on the play, and now a tie-up, and it starts to get a little physical. Carl Hess has to separate those guys. .10:19 to go. Physical it has been.
No question. 2 proud programs. The rejection at the rim, the stick-to-itiveness. How about Vitale? Stick your hands in there and don't give it up. This is a very proud Connecticut program established under the great Jim Calhoun. Andy Katz was talking about that 2011 run with Kemba Walker. What did that do for UConn? It put Jim Calhoun in the rarest of air in college basketball history. 3 national championships for Coach. Not many who can say that, Dave O'Brien.
And one of the most incredible individual performances we've ever seen in college basketball. Straight on, that won't drop.
Does this feel like an old school Big East game or what?
Sure does. Right down to the missing tooth.
Yeah.
Under 10. Purvis steps back.
I hate the shot. You're dancing with the ball. Nobody else touches it. Everybody's standing and watching. Cincinnati is sitting in defensive position. Why? Why take that?
Jalen Adams, who's gotten himself into some early foul trouble, about to check back in for Ali, and now another foul off the ball with 9:41 to go. Kevin Ollie's had that disgusted look on his face most of the half.
He's out here dancing. I know you've got a big on you, but my goodness gracious, he's going to pull Rodney Purvis, and rightly so.
Well, watch him drag Adams into the game. Like, you're getting it right now.
Right.
I've had enough of this.
Listen, Cincinnati too good a basketball team for you to take any poor shot. And Kevin going to have a conversation with him, and rightly so. He said, "You got to move the ball."
Brima with his first foul, and putting Clark to the line where he makes 64%.
Cincinnati is a team that's going to shrink the floor. They're going to contest shots. You can see a little frustration. You got to accept coaching if you're Rodney Purvis. Bad shot. Just say, "Hey, coach, my bad."
Clark, number 2, smooth there. So Cincinnati with a 5-point lead. Semifinal number 2. SMU is already into the championship game with a nice win earlier today against UCF. Adams. Brima calling for it, the 7-footer. Back to Adams. Shot clock at 5. Adams with a fall away. Another long possession where they don't get anything out of it. That's 5 consecutive misses for the Huskies. Clark on the spin. Taken away by Brima. UConn, the number 6 seed, trying to get into the championship game. They may sell out the building tomorrow. They probably will if they get into the title contest. Here on what is effectively a home court, of course. Adams, nice feed. Vital, he finishes.
That's crucial. Vital, the presence of mind to understand on a baseline drive, you've got to make yourself an option. He has started this basketball game great. Vital, I'm telling you, what a change in him from start to finish of this season.
Crowd coming back to life here in Hartford. Clark seeking out some contact. Copane. Not this time. Big rebound by Moore and a whistle.
I think they're going to get Vance Jackson on the hold of the arm.
Jackson with his first. Lots of fouls here in the first half.
The left side of your screen, you're going to see that is no question the foul. Okay, Mr. Vance Jackson, you cannot hold your opponent's arms as he tries to go for a rebound. Look at the smile on his face.
It's not like he's trying to hide it. Cincinnati, 6 consecutive misses from the floor. Quadri Moore at the line, the 6'8" junior. 8:09 to go. 1-1 here for Moore. So early shooting at the foul line with 8 minutes left in the half. Cincinnati just 67% at the foul line as a team. So not a real strength for the Bearcats. They have a lot of strengths. This isn't necessarily one of them. And a rebound by Brima. Adams, quick step off the window for 2. That was smooth. 2-point game.
And Brima didn't even make it up the floor. He almost fell over himself, so he spent that offensive possession tying his shoe.
Tipping another whistle, another foul.
And that's huge. That, I believe, is the 3rd foul on Jalen Adams.
That will be number 3.
Monumental.
Yeah, it is indeed. Number 3 on Adams. So they've lost a huge figure probably for the rest of the half.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with the Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most elevated SUVs ever, including the LX, GX, RX, and NX. Experience amazing.
We are American. We operate from a place of power, a place where what goes up doesn't necessarily come down, where the laws of physics are thrown out the window and high off the glass. It's power that moves us forward by leaps and bounds. The kind of power that brings the house down so the house can rise up. That's power. We are power.
Chris Cotter in the studio with an update on the Big East Final. Villanova and Creighton, and Josh Hart picking up right where he left off last night. He has 11 of Villanova's 22 points right now, 5-point lead for the defending champs. Late in the first half, meanwhile, Rhode Island got by Davidson. They look pretty good for maybe an at-large bid, possibly on the bubble, and VCU. They'll play them in the final, the A-10. Dave, Doris? Chris, thank you very much. In the American, SMU is into the championship game. And for more on that, Andy with SMU's Tim Jankovich.
All right, thank you, Dave. So when I caught up with you at the half, Tim, you said you didn't want to necessarily get another close game. So you didn't have necessarily a close game because you guys pulled away. How do you assess the way you guys were able to do that in the latter part of the second half?
I thought we played really, really well the whole game. We just didn't miss some great shots in the first half, so we couldn't pull away then. But the second half, I just thought couldn't have executed much better, played great defense, and right at the critical time, we got pulled away from a little bit and couldn't have been more pleased.
Obviously, ways to go here in this game. How do you assess basically who you could face tomorrow, either round 3 against Cincinnati or potentially true road game against UConn?
Can we pick a different one? I want to pick a different team. This crowd here is it's one of the great crowds in the country, and Connecticut's playing so well, and Cincinnati's one of the best teams in the country, period. They've had a great year, so I really would like to pick someone else.
Yeah, you can't do that. Sorry.
Then I'm not picking at all. I'm not going there. These are two great teams.
We'll see you Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
All right, and he knows he's in, though. He knows he's against somebody in the championship game. 3:15 tomorrow. We'll have it for you on ESPN. Jacob Evans going to the line here, the sophomore out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Well, keep in mind that UConn is 0-3 this year when Jalen Adams plays less than 30 minutes per game. He gives Rodney Purvis a little dap. Kevin Ollie and he had a brief conversation on the sideline. You could see him putting his head down. Now, the most important thing this young man can do is what he was doing with Purvis. Slap 5, stay engaged. This isn't about your foul trouble. This is about closing the 7:39 and making sure you're there for your teammates.
1 of 2 by Evans. 22-19 Cincinnati. Brima with another touch. 7-footer to the paint. Lost it. Cincinnati long known for buckled down defense. This team no different. But this is a Cincinnati team that can score, as that one is swished in by Moore with a sweet touch. This is a team that scores 75 points a game.
Yeah, no, seriously, this is Mick's best defensive team. Keep in mind, he spent some time in the offseason with Mike Bray at Notre Dame, who obviously has been one of the better offensive teams under Mike's tenure. Talking about 4 out, 1 in, how to spread the floor, getting better shooters in your program.
Mike Bray's Fighting Irish into the ACC championship. Brima shuffling his feet. Carl Hess saw that correctly, and the turnover.
We're going to be watching what happens now that Jalen Adams has picked up a 3rd foul, which was a silly one. He had absolutely no chance. You see his reaction and his coaches. Kevin's going to say something. Jalen's going to kind of bark back at him. And then there was a moment briefly where he just goes over to him, let the emotions settle down. Competitive guys. Obviously, the young man's disappointed, but this is how you coach right there.
Kevin Ollie, of course, who has coached the Huskies to a national championship. Foul off the ball. This will go against Cincinnati. That brings some sarcastic applause from the UConn faithful here. Moore with his 2nd foul. 24-19 Bearcats. Durham in for Purvis. And another foul.
Wow, geez, Pete already. This has been such a choppy, foul-filled stoppage of play.
A foul fest. That is the 17th foul that has been called here in the first half. And down to the other end. Vital to shoot.
Well, by and large, as we talk about the stoppage and play, Mike DeCourcy, the great Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News, had a tweet earlier this week where he was talking about the new rules in college basketball. And I believe it was 38 teams in the country this year are averaging 80 points or more. Prior to that rule, everybody sort of cleaning up the game, the physicality of the game changing. In 2012, there were 4 teams that averaged 80
That's
plus.
a great stat. Nobody likes to see a foul shooting contest in the first half, however. And another whistle.
I don't know about that one. I think that's a play on right there.
Cumberland with his first.
Obviously, Mick Cronin agrees with me.
Well, I realize we have 6 minutes to go in the first half, but here's hoping the second half leads to more fluid play. UConn with 10 fouls, Cincinnati with 8.
Double bonus now, rest of the way for Cincinnati.
Purvis looking inside, nothing there. Shot clock at 14 for the Huskies. Vital with a long one. That glances away. Cincinnati, the number 2 seed. They really don't have a bad loss all season, do they? They lost to Rhode Island early in the year, but Rhode Island was a top 25 of the team at the time. The other losses, Butler, SMU, and UCF. Jumping inside, Clark, lots of contact. He banks it in. He'll be at the line. 26-19 as he looks for a three-point play.
You talked about the excellence of Cincinnati. They have been remarkably consistent as a program. There are the quality wins, and all of a sudden that Iowa State win looking better and better as they advance deeper and deeper in their conference tournament. SMU already in. Xavier, who has rebounded after absorbing a huge injury early in the season. Look at the BPI and RPIs. But I'm with you, the one thing we talked about what might pinch SMU in a tournament environment, which is depth and maybe athleticism and pressure and all those things that can take a toll on a thin roster. For Cincinnati in a possession ball game, the free throws would scare me.
This is their biggest lead today. 27-19. Jackson can hit the 3 ball. He's 39% beyond the line, and Evans will foul him. 6-0 run since the 3rd Adams foul. Let's go to Andy Katz.
Well, I think we all saw Mick Cronin get a little salty about the selection and seeding process a couple of weeks ago after practice, and I talked to him last week about it, and he says, look, I just want to underscore that the NCAA is a business, which no one disputes, but the key point that there was a little bit of disagreement on is that he said this was about selling tickets, and the NCAA and Dan Gavitt, who's the vice president of the NCAA, was quick to point out that ticket sales are not an issue. In fact, 90% of the tickets are already sold in these 8 sites. Obviously, they make most of their money off the television. As for seeding, in the last 3 years, since they set the seed list from 1 to 68, there has not been a team that has moved on the seed line based on geography. Now, prior to that, they averaged about 10 a year that had occurred. In Cincinnati's case, if they were to play high enough, then they would be a protected seed in Indianapolis. If they win this, get a win over SMU, they're going to get a high seed, and they'll be as close to home as possible.
How high, Andy, do you think they go? Are they a 4?
I think they could get as high as a 4, but they might end up on that 5 line. But look, they could end up in Indy, maybe. They could end up in Milwaukee. As the selection committee told me, essentially the highest seed on each of those lines gets a choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down about where they might get slotted. That's why, if you remember, Yale was the top 12 last year. They ended up in Providence instead of some other place.
Cumberland lifting a 3. Got it right in front of the shot clock.
Well, interestingly, along that conversation, everybody's wondering about Gonzaga, where their seed will be. Are they a 1, et cetera, et cetera. You had an interesting conversation with Mark Few about whether or not they should go to Sacramento or another site, and his thoughts were what?
Well, he wanted to go to Sacramento. He said, everyone assumes that Gonzaga, for example, and a foul in the backcourt, that they would want to play absolutely in Salt Lake, that's where all their fan base is. Mark Few said, well, wait a minute. We draw really well in Sacramento. We'd love to play there. We don't have to just play one place all the time. And as a number 1 seed, should you have some say in that? As one of the top 4 seeds, 30-21, Cincinnati opening up a 9-point lead here.
And we're going to the monitor again. My goodness, is this about the Brima contact in the back? They've already called a foul, right? What are we checking?
That is, it's on Brima whether there was a little something extra there. A little bit of an elbow there.
Yeah.
And sending Brooks tumbling, the 6'11 freshman, backward.
Well, he does make contact above the shoulder.
9-2 run here for Cincinnati since Adams picked up that 3rd foul. And a flagrant 1, a personal foul deemed excessive in nature or unnecessary.
It looked like his arm came up because he was trying to regain his balance as he got his gait together. But do they have to call something because of the contact above the shoulder?
Fouling a player clearly away from the ball, not directly involved with the play, is another example of a flagrant 1.
Do you see what I mean? Like Cumberland knocked him off balance, and in trying to get his own balance, it looks like his right elbow came up. And they think they have to call it a flagrant 1 because there is contact above the shoulder.
And it will be a flagrant 1 on Brima. He keeps saying, is it me?
He doesn't even realize that it's actually on the run up the floor.
Right.
He doesn't see that at all.
Of course, illegal contact caused by the swinging of an elbow that is deemed excessive or unnecessary, but does not rise to the level of a flagrant 2 personal foul, is a flagrant 1. And a man who got hit was Nasir Brooks, the 6'11 freshman from Philadelphia. Nasir with 4 brothers and 4 sisters. So he did not see the bathroom until he was 14. 4:22 to go.
As the last of 8, I can attest to that exact fact.
About a 60% foul shooter. Look good there. 32-21, biggest lead of the day at 11. Mick Cronin looks like he's saying that's a punch.
And I think he's saying it should be an rejection.
Wow. I didn't see that.
I disagree with that. No, to me it looked like Brima was trying to gain his balance. Now you've got to call it because there's contact above the elbow, but I didn't think it was a punch.
Another whistle, 4:10 to go. One after another here. That foul will go on Enoch of UConn. Stephen Enoch picks up the foul.
Technical foul on Rodney Purvis. The hits just keep on coming here.
How about this?
It's hard to get any rhythm. Is this a double technical foul? And Mick Cronin is going to give it to Troy Copain like he had an earful for his senior.
It is a double technical. Purvis one of those, and for Cincinnati, Brooks the other. The tweeting you are hearing at home is not the early arrival of spring.
No. And he's going to take Brooks out. And I say this to you about Mick Cronin. He has established a culture. He's got good kids, and he's certainly not going to accept anything like he considers bad behavior or poor teammate skills. And he is letting his kid have it, as he should.
So Cincinnati bolstering the lead in a game that is lurching toward halftime. 33-21. He makes one of two. course, those technicals offset. Coming up on the 4-minute mark. There's Durham in close. Got the shot he wanted, but the freshman could not connect. A lot of guys in foul trouble in this one.
Yeah, your rotations are completely skewed if you're Connecticut at this point.
Copain gets himself an open look and sticks it. Adams has 3. Facey has 3 for UConn. Brima and Purvis each with 2. Purvis with it up top.
I thought he missed Enoch on the first look. He made this a more difficult play, and that could have been an offensive foul. I'm
grateful there was no whistle, though. A tie up here. Possession arrow, keep it on this end. So 35-21, Cincinnati beginning to open up a comfortable lead in this semifinal in Hartford.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The pension fund is being dissolved.
Williamsburg Savings will liquidate the fund.
These banks destroyed this country, and nothing ever happened to them.
I want to ride that back.
Here. Let's go get our money back.
You know how to handle a gun? I served my country. He was in the Peace Corps.
We're gonna need the practice run. I got a getaway car. Stop! She's gaining on us.
Look what you did to Cindy. She's looking like a Colombian drug mule.
Going in style. Rated PG-13.
The Range Rover Sport. Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Do you always put Cheez-It Grooves in your sandwich?
Of course. They're chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch.
Oh, don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal.
Cheez-It Grooves. Chips made with 100% real cheese. Dang right it's a chip.
Delicious freshly brewed coffee comes at a price. It's $1. Go to McDonald's and get $1 any size coffee or $2 small specialty beverage. And every 6th McCafe beverage is free with our app. Wake up and win the day.
NBA Sunday Showcase. Bulls, Celtics, tomorrow on ABC.
Chris Cotter in Bristol. Audi halftime report coming your way. A little chippy in the Big Ten, but Michigan keeps their unlikely run alive. We'll show you highlights of the Big Ten semis between Michigan and Minnesota. And tickets punched today, 2 out of a total of 13 on this date. We'll tell you who's dancing coming up. Carol Lawson, Dan Dockett will join me, Dave. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Chris. And how about that Michigan team? That is something else after the week that they have endured, and they're playing going off the runway. Lots of fouls in this one, and a technical foul as well.
Yeah, which I disagree with. I just want you to watch what's happening. You're going to see a little bit of conversation. Purvis, Brooks, there's no physical aggression. It's some minor chippiness. Officials going to come from across the court. They've already basically kind of separated. There's not a lot going on. He's going to give him a technical. This game has been let that go. Yep. I mean, if they were physically moving at each other in an aggressive fashion, it looks like if he had walked in there without calling a technical, I'd have no problem with it.
That might have been the least threatening technical I've ever seen. Connecticut, by the way, committed 17 fouls. They were called for 17 yesterday in their game. Already 14 fouls have been called in this half against UConn. On the drive, Vital, and tried the backboard, but he came up empty. He draws the foul. The SEC Championship from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville will be decided tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock on ESPN. That'll be Kentucky and Arkansas. All those games streaming live on the ESPN app. And the American Championship will be right after that on ESPN. Doris and Andy and I will have it from Hartford. As Vital knocks in the first one, he gets about 72%.
Kentucky beat Arkansas by 26 in a meeting earlier this year. Can they close the gap?
Well, that's what the Huskies are trying to do right now against Cincinnati. Close the gap.
Close the half. If you're Cincinnati, you're trying to take a 13-point lead and maybe make it 17-20. Put a push. How you finish halves is crucial to winning basketball games. And Connecticut goes into a little zone here.
Cincinnati beating the Huskies pretty handily both times this season. 82-68 and then by 20. Johnson from the corner off the side of that backboard. Purvis airborne. No. In close, another whistle. Durham working hard, the former McDonald's All-American nominee out of Tampa Prep. Getting some minutes here in the first half. He'll be at the line, where he's only been a handful of times this season. 2:20 to go before the break. And Durham will get 2. This half combined 26 personal fouls, 2 flagrants, 2 technicals, 4 video reviews, and 24 foul shot attempts.
So hang in there, Kara and Chris. We'll be to you in about an hour.
Wow. Clock beyond the 3. Jumping in the lane, wants that shot. That was a determined effort.
I like watching that young man play. Defensive Player of the Year in the conference last year. There is so much to like about this Cincinnati team.
A foul with 1:50 to go.
Let's watch Mr. Clark split the defense on the other end of the floor. Just watch right here. You got 2 guys, you're going to go right between them. How about that little hesitation dribble, and then how about the step-through move? The vibe around this team to me, Cincinnati, I said the same thing about SMU early in our first game. There's a connectedness. There's an unselfishness. When teams have a vibe where no one cares how many shots, nobody cares who the leading scorer is, everybody's pulling the right direction, and that's the vibe you get from Cincinnati to me, Dave.
And they can really play defense.
No doubt.
Well, if you're going to play for Mick Cronin in Cincinnati, you better play D. You better be down in your stance. Taking away the theft by Purvis. Trying to drive it. Can't finish. Rebound up and in by Durham.
Yeah, really good job by him running the floor. Is that a timeout by Mick Cronin? I think so.
He does take a timeout with 90 seconds before halftime, and UConn is pulled to an intent.
They're an explosive basketball team. Believe me, this is not a Connecticut team that's going to roll over. They ended yesterday's half on a 26-6 run. I don't know that they got enough time, but nice follow there.
I'll take a lemonade.
That'll be $2.37.
Your sign says $1.
Yeah, but that doesn't include fees and added taxes.
Fees and added taxes?
They're all listed on your bill.
Are you kidding me?
There's the line access fee, the standing on my lawn fee, the fresh fruit high cost fee, the poison control surcharge.
Don't pay more for taxes and fees. With T-Mobile One, taxes and fees are now included. For a limited time, get 2 lines of unlimited data for $100. All unlimited, all in.
Well, UConn getting a little bit of momentum here with 1:30 left before halftime.
Got to continue to make stops. They go to this zone. They like what they see clearly because they're sticking with it. Love to see those guys touching hands at the free throw line like, hey, we're connected too.
Tough pass. Clark hooks it up and in.
Yeah, this guy's physically tough. He's mentally tough. You're just getting post position and putting him in the spin. That's nice.
Best shooter on the team, too, at 54%.
So I just love that kid.
Jackson makes 39% from 3. Boy, there have been some ugly shots by UConn. On the run, Cumberland will lay it in.
Boy, big time move by the 6'5" freshman, 218 pounds, Wilmington, Ohio's going, that's our boy.
He's got a linebacker build, doesn't he?
He sure does. 3 for 3, really efficient, and now Kevin Ollie going to use one.
41-27, Cincinnati back in a comfort zone.
With long-lasting Firestone Champion tires, is there really such a thing as a wrong turn?
Map says straight.
Let's go left.
That's not wrong. Not wrong. And that ain't wrong either. New Firestone Champion tires with our longest limited tread wear warranty ever for 70,000 miles of no wrong turns. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
36.8 seconds before halftime. You talk about Jaron Cumberland, the 6'5 freshman, being a lot to handle.
All rookie team, Coach 6 Man of the Year. How about the ability to handle at that size, crosses the defender, and then against the challenge, corner of the window, great concentration. Going to be a big-time guy for Mick Cronin.
Came to Cincinnati with a serious scorer's reputation at Wilmington, Ohio, where he scored 30 points a game as a senior and finished with 2,400 career points. Over the top for Purvis. Michael Noyes, a walk-on who's played all of 16 minutes this season, is in the game now for the Huskies, wearing number 31. He may be as surprised as anybody he's in the game. Jalen Adams on the bench, of course, because of foul trouble. And another tie-up and a whistle on the baseline with 26 seconds to go.
What's the over-under on maybe 2 more whistles before we send it back to the studio?
Got a fighting chance. You wonder, and I'm very serious about this, do officials go into their room, their little locker room in the arena at halftime, and maybe size up how they called the first half and what they're looking for in the second half, and maybe alter a few things if they can?
I think obviously these officials are as much a team as the respective teams, as the broadcast team. Everybody's got to be working in unison. So the answer to that question is yes. And if there's a member of, if the official in charge of this group, he might go into the locker room and talk pregame. Let's keep an eye on this. Remember, these are our points of emphasis. We want to make sure. Now, I did think, in defense of these officials, I did think that the game started out incredibly physical. So obviously you want to make sure. But it's just, it has felt bad from the jump, right?
Yeah, and this is a respected crew. Carl Hess, Mike Nance, Ron Groover, they do a really nice job. Just an awful lot of fouls for everybody's taste. Cincinnati with a 41-29 lead and the ball here. They can hold for the final shot before halftime. Copain looking up at the clock. Wants to take that shot. Opportunity for a long heave. Vital will be way short. And Cincinnati own the first 20 as they have the lead at the break, 41-29, trying to end the UConn dream right here. Cincinnati outscoring the Huskies after Adams left the floor in foul trouble, 20-10. And let's go to Andy with Mick Cronin.
All right, thank you, Dave. Mick, what has gotten you so hot toward the end of this first half?
Well, we made some dumb plays, but I thought Bryman should have been thrown out. So Gary Clark's got his tooth knocked out. I thought he threw a punch. If that was Octavius Ellis, he gets thrown out all the time for my team, so I'm not happy right now.
How do you put the foot on the pedal here and put him away at the beginning of the second half?
We got to play better defense. Our scouting report defense was bad. We let them shoot some threes to start the game. We're giving up layups. We're denying the walk-on, giving them a post-up. We're just not playing smart.
Thanks, Mick.
Thanks.
That shows you how much defense means to him. They gave up 29 points. He doesn't think that was near good enough. But Cincinnati has the lead, 41-29. Back to the studio. Chris Cotter, Dan Dockich, and Carol Lawson coming your way. And then the second half of our second semifinal from Hartford.
Appreciate it, Dave. Doris, the Audi halftime report. Carol Lawson is here, as is Dan Dockich. Just talk about the first game in the American there at Hartford. UCF and SMU earlier. Shake Milton. I love that name. And He is wide open, puts SMU up 11. Then Ben Moore, who also had a great game, as did Sterling Brown. He hits a three, and SMU is off and running, hitting these wide open shots.
Just too much for UCF. Shemi Ojeleye, the American Conference Player of the Year, 17-6, the #1 seed in the championship.
So they await the winner of our game here with Cincinnati and UConn. And Cincinnati, Coach Cronin wasn't all that pleased with how his team played in the first half, but at least they were knocking down shots, really making good decisions and making those shots.
50% from the floor, 50% from beyond the arc. And when they knock down three-point shots, that really helps out what they do on the offensive end of the floor. I love the Cincinnati team in terms of their offensive balance. They've got 4 guys that average in double figures. And when they get three-point shots from their perimeter players, it helps open up things on the offensive end. There's Jacob Evans knocking down a three-point shot. Troy Copane gets into the action, a senior guard that has a lot of wins under his belt. So you look at this team, and we know that they're stout on the defensive end. There's Jaron Cumberland, a freshman that can come off the bench and knock down threes as well. And you add this with the balance and the efficiency on the offensive end. That's what makes me excited about the prospects for Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament.
And also looking ahead to possibly a matchup, Cincinnati and SMU in the American Championship game. What did you like from what you saw from the Mustangs today?
You know what I like? I like what I've seen all year with SMU. And look, Tim Jankovich replaced a legend. Now, Larry Brown has had 962 jobs, so there's been a lot of guys that replaced Larry Brown. However, Jankovich in this situation, Larry Brown brought SMU back. Now, he leaves, you got a little NCAA problem. The guy stepping in for a legend, that doesn't work all the time. I mean, players react differently. They didn't come to play for Jankovich. They came to play for Brown. Now Brown is out. I just think he's done a masterful job with this team. 17-1 in a very tough conference. Both games have been close with these two. I expect it'll go down to the wire and it'll be a knockdown, drag-out, end of the game, whoever's got the ball possession type game.
You're right. If it is Cincinnati, they split the season series between these two, so it should make for a really good matchup in the final. Big 12 final going on right now over on ESPN. Let's show you some highlights of Iowa State and West Virginia. And Nathan Adrian right here. First of all, Iowa State. Yeah, nice steal right there. And that's what West Virginia does. That's why they call them Press Virginia.
Yeah, that's what they do. Turn you over in transition. And, this is Deontay Burton. Man, Iowa State is playing great. They've got 4 guys that can go for 30 on a given night, and that's Burton, the lefty, a tough matchup.
Burton's been unbelievable, and you can't miss him with those pink shoes, too. When we come back, the defending champs in action in the Big East as we speak. I'm going to show you what they're up to, taking on the Creighton Blue Jays, coming up next.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier Triple-Double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
This lovely lady has a typical airline credit card, so she only earns double miles on purchases she makes from that airline. Would you earn double miles on, please? Oh, it's unfortunate. There's a better option. The Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase, everywhere, every day. Not just airline purchases. Seems like a no-brainer. What's in your wallet?
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserve.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we will be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple-Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with the Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
The Verizon IndyCar Series kicks off tomorrow in St. Pete.
Go get him! Go get him! You better get out there.
The countdown to the Indy 500 begins here.
Great job.
The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Tomorrow at noon Eastern on ABC.
This halftime report is presented by Audi.
Carter Dockett's Lawson with you. Big East Finals. Creighton, Villanova. First half, you know what? Josh Hart with the game winner yesterday for Villanova. Look how deep that is, Dockage. He was on fire. 11 straight points at one point.
Yeah, you know, that happens. After you have a game winner, a big-time shot late in a tournament, seems like you always play great the next night.
Jalen Brunson with the and one. He played great, too. 36-22 at the half. Nova looks fantastic. Michigan, Minnesota. After the plane accident earlier on in the week, Michigan has just been an inspired team. Derek Walton Jr., he's a big reason for that, Doc.
He's a huge reason. He's been the best player in the Big Ten the last 9 games. He decided that he wasn't going to let his team lose after a bad loss to Ohio State. Turned it on, and he's been unbelievable.
So Michigan in the Big Ten final looking for their first official Big Ten tournament title ever.
I'll tell you that's big.
Alabama and Kentucky, like you back in your playing days. SEC, De'Aaron Fox, he was unbelievable. It's almost like pick your poison with Kentucky, and today, Kara, was Fox.
Yeah, it is. And De'Aaron Fox is a guy that creates the pace for Kentucky. 28 points, got to the free throw line 15 times, and Monk added 20 points as well. Those two led the way.
That was the semis in the SEC. They'll play Arkansas for the title. Rhode Island on the bubble taking on Davidson, the surprise team in the A-10. The semifinals, E.C. Matthews had himself a day from the corner. Catch and shoot here, buries it, and Jared Terrell on the break with the dunk for Rhode Island, and all of a sudden, Kara, the Rams are really in the discussion.
Yeah, take yourself off the bubble by doing what? Win the automatic bid. Just win the A-10, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Here is the bubble right now, according to Joe Lenardi, and there you see Rhode Island moving their way from first 2 out, which they were at the start of the day, to the last 4 in, and they have another opportunity, which would be a really good win against VCU, which got by their opponent today, to make that possibility for Rhode Island even better for them if they can get the win. What to watch for tonight in the ACC on ESPN? Duke and Notre Dame. Doc, coming up in the ACC. This one promises to be pretty good because both these teams are playing well right now.
Playing outstanding. I mean, I love Duke. I love everything about Duke. I think Duke has a chance to run the table not only tonight, but I think Duke has a chance to run the table in the NCAA tournament.
All right, Kara, what about this one here? Pac-12 championship game. You and I were watching these semifinals late last night. Arizona really shot the ball well to get the win over UCLA.
These are two teams that are Final Four contenders. Lauri Markkanen is an absolute star for Arizona. He gave UCLA everything last night.
This game on ESPN late night at 11 o'clock.
Is Microsoft Word on the iPad?
Yeah, it is. Just head to the App Store and download it. Now you have Microsoft Word on your iPad Pro. And it works with Apple Pencil.
Word?
Word.
Word.
Yeah, Word.
Word.
Come, explore a place where you can fly on the back of a banshee. Walk under floating mountains and navigate a mystical river. Welcome to our world beyond belief. Pandora, the world of Avatar. Only at the Walt Disney World Resort.
Come on in. Pull up a chair. Gather round. So many ways to invite people to come together. Or you could just put out the Sabra and let the simple, fresh ingredients do the talking. Sabra, welcome to the unofficial meal.
To achieve financial security, there are 2 halves to consider: protect and grow. Instead of focusing on insurance or investments alone, we bring them together into one whole picture. At Northwestern Mutual, we guide you along your path by combining personalized investments and world-class insurance. That's one of the reasons 96% of our clients stay with us year after year. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
If you get up early to get more done, if you believe hard work makes you stronger, don't settle for anything less than the hardest working, smoothest riding side-by-side ever built. Polaris Rangers help you haul more, pull more, dump more, and make more of your free time when the work is done. Polaris Ranger, like you, we're driven to do more. And now's the time to get up to $1,200 cash back during the Polaris Spring Sales Event.
Hand-cut tomatoes, fresh original dough. You'd expect those from a pizza family. But here's something you didn't see coming. Get a 2-topping pan or large pizza from Papa John's, just $9.99. That's right, only $9.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
My laptop has the nastiest virus and I'm terrified.
Yeah, that is scary. You know, an iPad Pro doesn't get PC viruses, so relax. There's nothing to be afraid of. Except ghosts!
watching the Audi Halftime Report.
This time of year for so many schools, it's about getting into the big dance. We got a couple of tickets punched today already. Several more still to come. Vermont out of the America East, and North Carolina Central getting in from the MEAC. Great stuff. Celebrations continue. Jerron Cumberland. Great move to the bucket right there. Bearcats up by 12. Second half from the Excel Center coming up. This has been the Audi Halftime Report.
This Halftime Report is presented by Audi.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier, triple-double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience our most thrilling models ever, including the exhilarating IS, GS, and RC Coupe. Experience amazing.
I joined the Army in July of '98. I did active duty 11 years and 2 in the reserve.
Our 18-year-old was in an accident. When I call USAA, it was that voice asking me, is your daughter okay? That's where I felt relief.
It actually helped to know that somebody else cared and wanted to make sure that I was okay. That was really great.
We're the Rivera family, and we will be with USAA for life.
USAA. We know what it means to serve. Call today to talk about your insurance needs.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with the Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience our most refined models ever, including the LS, LX, and ES. Experience amazing.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Tempers flared, a tooth was lost. There were technicals, there were flagrant fouls. We'll see if it gets a little bit cleaner as we welcome you back to Champ Week, Frontier Communications American Men's Championship. And Cincinnati with the lead at halftime, trying to play their way into the title match against SMU. UConn looking for the comeback, 41-29 at the break. We'll see what kind of second half the officials see, Doris, but it certainly was very physical from the get-go.
And I thought the crucial foul was the third foul on Jalen Adams. Not only did it change the first half, Dave, but it's going to change the start of the second half. And this is the third foul. It was a poor foul. It was frustrating to both Kevin and Jalen. They had a tough moment because Kevin just says something. Jalen knows it. He's frustrated. And obviously the run from Cincinnati at that point, they go on a 20-10 run. They double it up. It came from all kinds of spots. The three guys you might expect. It was Mr. Copain, the outstanding freshman Cumberland, and Mr. Clark. And what did UConn do on the offensive end? They were outscored 20-10. They could muster 1 for 7, 0 for 2 from 3, and just 10 points. So UConn needs a tremendous start to start this second half.
Well, Adams opening up in the lineup for the Huskies in the second half. Garrett Clark, a big star for Cincinnati in the first 20, 12.6 rebounds. Cumberland had 7 total points. And 11 for Vital, the freshman for UConn. And a very, very quick whistle as we go to Andy for our first hit of the second half.
So, Dave, picking up on Doris's point about Jalen Adams, that's one of the first things Associate Head Coach Glenn Miller told me was that third foul certainly was costly. He says, look, we're defending hard, but we're committing too many fouls. On the offensive end, he says we're taking too many quick shots. More than anything, he says it's critical that in this first 4 minutes or so before we get to the first media timeout, he said that they have to get this under 10 to make it a home game here in Hartford.
So there's your plan laid out by the coaching staff. Evans at the line. A 73% foul shooter.
One thing I'm interested in is what's the level of the players, and by that I mean the emotional level here. Obviously, we talked extensively about all of the whistles. There is a history between these two programs. I do think the officials probably talked about that history pre-game, calling it tight. Let's see, is everybody leveled off and prepared to just play basketball?
Jalen Adams, nothing there for the penetration. Here's Purvis with 7 to shoot. Is he aware of the shot clock? He kicks it. Facey with a hook, rolls in for 2. Kind of shot that was not dropping in the first half for UConn.
Well, if they wanted a patient possession that Andy had just mentioned, that was underneath 5 seconds. And Facey's not scored well today, but he's made a big jump in scoring on the season.
Cincinnati shooting it well, 50% for the day. Evans beyond the three-point line. He had 20 against Tulsa on Friday. It's a Bearcat team that has offensive weapons. He looks to move inside, trying to contact, and he made the shot.
I'm telling you, they've got lots of options. Evans can score it. Copain has been under 10 points per game, but we touched on it. He went for 37 in the multi-overtime game against Connecticut. He can light it up.
Clark can score. Washington can score. They can get scoring from Cumberland. Yeah, it's a little bit different than other Bearcat teams. Nice fake, and he made it. Facey drawing a foul. He'll be at the line for a three-point play attempt.
And it's always been about confidence in Kenton Facey's career. I don't think he's had it till this particular season. It's not due to a lack of hard work. This kid, his frame is filled out, but he is playing as assertively and confidently as we've seen him in his career.
Lanky senior, we had his game in their 2-point win over Syracuse at the Garden in December. He had 13 rebounds, an outstanding day, and they needed them all in that victory. And UConn needs to win this one and get their way to the championship game and win that if they're going to go to the NCAA tournament, grab the automatic bid. They would really steal a bid out of the American if that comes to pass. Copain looking inside. Washington turns. Bryma right with him. Shot clock at 5. Bryma went down. UConn got a little bit lucky there. Vitale with a nice feed, and Facey finishes. And the Huskies coming to life.
Here comes the home crowd. Exactly what Glenn Miller was talking about in the last recruit of the Jim Calhoun era. Kenton Facey has got 6 straight.
Clark seeking contact, flips it up and off target. UConn with the rebound. Purvis pops it up there short. Bryma with the rebound. Vitale lost the handle. Now he penetrates and scores. A 7-point game. No panic on the face of Mick Cronin. Clark. Copain with a 3. Rebound picked off by Johnson. Second effort now for the Bearcats. It gets louder and louder. Copain. Airborne. Swatted by Bryma. Boy, great timing on that block. Take a look.
Yeah, Mita Bryma, this is what he can give you. It comes over in defensive assistance and says, no, sir, Mr. Copain, I'm having none of it.
With the last possible moment before it started on its descent. Shot clock at 8. Cumberland has to heave it up there. He can't hit it. Vitale. Right through. Spins it up and scores. Cincinnati.
Mr. Vitale has become vital to the Connecticut Huskies. They're rolling right now. Little bite in the dogs. How about this? Little drive and dish to Mr. Facey. And I can dish it, but guess what, Mr. O'Brien? I can score. It doesn't hit the right angle. 9-0 run. Shoots has missed 5 straight. The Hartford Civic Center is alive, and we got a game.
NBA Sunday Showcase. Bulls, Celtics, tomorrow on ABC.
The DQ $5 lunch is now available all day, every day, so I'm training my team to get ready.
Entree.
Fries.
Drink Sunday.
Todd.
Todd.
You're supposed to say it's all day, Todd.
It's all day?
The DQ $5 lunch, now all day, every day.
Welcome to Dairy Queen.
Why do some cashback cards make earning bonus cashback so complicated? They limit where you can earn bonus cashback to a few places, and those places keep changing every few months. The Quicksilver card from Capital One doesn't do any of that. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cashback on every purchase everywhere. Leave complicated behind. What's in your wallet?
The Range Rover Sport. Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Any guy can wear a hat, but only you can turn heads in one. You got something. Own it and smell great with new Axe U, a unique masculine fragrance.
With Odor Blocker, Old Spice's most powerful antiperspirant, I escaped sweat's curfew on my body, and I was free to break down barriers between man and beast. Finally, the answers to all my questions would be revealed. Excuse me?
Christian Vitale, the freshman, has 15 points. He leads all scorers in the game. He is trying to become the engine to drive UConn to another upset.
Well, Glenn Miller told Andy Katz that they wanted to, inside of the first 4 minutes, cut it to 10. Well, we've not yet played the full 4 minutes, and it's at 5 points.
So look at this. UConn in the first half made all of 8 field goals. They've already made 5 in this half. That was before the first media timeout.
Mick Cronin was not happy with his defense in the first half. I don't think the first 4 minutes with them shooting 5 for 6 is going to please Mick.
So UConn has sliced the lead to 5. Cumberland fakes it. 10 to shoot it. Copain. 5 on the clock. Getting closer. Interrupted there with 1 on the shot clock. 15:34 remaining. And here comes the timeout. We'll take the break. Cincinnati leading it 45-40 in our second semifinal in the American.
Welcome to Stouffer's Fit Kitchen. Prime cuts of meat, 25 grams of protein, and savory mouth-watering sides. It's the perfect balance of delicious and nutritious, making it just the right fit for you. Stouffer's Fit Kitchen meals. This is fit.
The Range Rover Sport. Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Come. Explore a place where you can fly on the back of a banshee. Walk under floating mountains and navigate a mystical river. Welcome to our world beyond belief. Pandora, the world of Avatar. Only at the Walt Disney World Resort.
Everyone loves Taco Bell's iconic Crunch Wrap, and once again, we're taking that love to new heights. The one that got away is back in a big way. The bigger, beefier, triple-double Crunch Wrap. Only at Taco Bell.
And here we go to start the new campaign. Green flag, green flag.
The Verizon IndyCar Series kicks off tomorrow in St. Pete.
Go get him, go get him.
As the next wave of drivers push the limits against IndyCar's legends.
Get out there.
The countdown to the Indy 500 begins here.
Way to go, buddy. Great job, great job.
The Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, tomorrow at noon Eastern on ABC.
The American Cincinnati and UConn certainly do have a history, with a couple of absolute thrillers the last 2 years. Are we on our way again to another one? As Champ Week continues tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, SMU and the winner of this one for the championship of the 2017 Frontier Communications American Championship. All part of Champ Week on ESPN. 1 second on the shot clock. Time for a tip. And a whistle there. And another foul. We had gone 2 minutes and 41 seconds since the last foul. That's the longest stretch of the game.
And that's the fourth on Kenton Facey, that played well. Let's see, is there a hold? Oh, there's no question there's a hold there. Now, it should be on the floor. And in fact, it is.
So non-shooting. But that really bails out Cincinnati.
Well, let's see, Mr. Durham gave him good minutes. He's going to have to give him extended good minutes.
Cumberland baseline went for the scoop. He takes a hit. 15 and a half left here. Semifinal number 2, Cincinnati, the number 2 seed. UConn, the number 6 seed. Facey on the bench with 4.
We had gone 2:41 without a foul. Then we went 2.4 seconds without a foul.
Cumberland makes 64%. Had some really fine games, the freshman this year, at 26 against USF. And again, we had 19 against Tulane. So he can be a real factor. Another foul shot on the way. Jaron Cumberland. It's a name you're going to hear in the future for Cincinnati.
A little soft pressure here by Cincinnati.
Leading by 6. Adams. Purvis on the wing. He lifts. Brima battling for the rebound. Cumberland went for it too, and it'll go the other way. Brima's going to argue that, but it'll be Cincinnati ball. "15 minutes left." Washington with a hook. No. One-handed rebound by Clark. He's denied and a foul. Now nobody seems to get a clean opportunity underneath the iron on either side. Not in this game. That foul on Durham is number 3, drawing the ire of the UConn faithful. And we'll put Clark at the line, 64%. At the stripe.
You talk about the senior leadership Cincinnati has gotten, boy. I just love the countenance of both Copain and there's something special about having that senior leadership, especially when it's from the point guard position. You talked about Copain being 7 assists shy of the Cincinnati record. But it's also about the demeanor of he and Clark, who have both experienced 3 NCAAs.
Back on top by 8, Cincinnati. Vital really has been a bright light for the Huskies. Adams trying to be heard from, forced that shot. Rebound comes out high. Boxed around and taken in by Purvis. Shot clock at 2. Has to heave it. He banks it in from three-point land. You got to be kidding me. With the shot clock winding down. Wow.
That's a huge, huge plus. Brian fell. Looked like he was holding his left ankle as he came up the floor. We'll see if it bothers him.
Clark working on the 7-footer. Back out for Copain. He'll fire and can't hit it. And shoving underneath in that lane. That'll go against Cincinnati.
Looks like Brian was okay, but he has spent quite a bit of time on the floor. It's going to fall down here. Oh, yeah, you see he turns that left ankle real brief. And good job by Purvis to recognize, I got 2 ticks. That's strength. To shoot a fall away, turn around, 3-point shot from that distance, that's big time strength.
Also, 5-point game and UConn with the ball. Adams, he can get cooking. Shot clock at 10. Airborne, here's Purvis again. Yes! He hits a 3. UConn within 2. Cumberland wants to answer. That clangs away. And now UConn can tie or take the lead. They were down 12 at halftime. Rodney Purvis again. Adams lines it up.
Jalen Adams was trying to get Rodney Purvis to try to split the 2 defenders at the top to create a little bit more space for that 3. The challenge a little easier because Purvis needed to take an extra dribble.
Clark on the back down to the paint to his right. And he got hit. He'll be at the line. Boy, what an answer from Gary Clark. The junior from Clayton, North Carolina.
Purvis, back-to-back threes. The one was under duress of a shot clock. This off the playmaking of Jalen Adams. How important is Adams? Well, Rodney Purvis is going, I get some easy looks when he's on the floor. And then this, a power play on the Clark turnaround and a little frustration from Enoch. And Clark stared Enoch down. You get the sense these 2 teams just don't like one another very much.
Enoch with his second. Clark looking for the 3-point play. That was smooth. Back up to a 5-point lead for Cincinnati. Bearcats went 16-2 to finish second in the American to SMU. The 2 losses coming in the last 7 games to cost them a chance to win the conference. Jackson in the game, the swing for Purvis. He penetrates, can't finish, but draws the foul.
That's one thing you have to do is drive hard against Cincinnati. 6-point edge for the Bearcats. A couple of free throws coming for Rodney Purvis. 5-point separation.
Do you always put Cheez-It Grooves in your sandwich?
Of course, they're chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch.
Oh, don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal.
Cheez-It Grooves, chips made with 100% real cheese. Dang right it's a chip.
Hello?
Almost didn't recognize you. Sweet new ride.
Thanks.
Did you get a promotion? Wait, are you our boss now?
You're the boss. I'm gonna need more vacation days.
Oh, can I call in sick today?
Guys, I don't have that kind of power.
But I can park this car with my mind.
Now you're just showing off.
Lease the first ever all-wheel drive Infiniti QX30 crossover at your local Infiniti retailer.
When I want a $7.99 large pizza from Pizza Hut, I can order with this, and now from my Pizza Hut Pie Tops.
Now get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Chris Cotter and Dan Dockich in studio. Big 12 final, Iowa State, West Virginia on ESPN. Matt Thomas is going to hit a three here. Doc, they're shooting over 55% from the floor.
He was the best shooter in the class of 2013 coming out of high school. He was a great shooter.
So right now, Cyclones on top in that final. Villanova on top in the Big East final as well. Mountain West, Nevada, and Colorado State. That's a close one. Nevada up by 6. Dave?
Chris, thank you very much. Tickets punched in the 2017 NCAA tournament. Well, UConn is trying to steal one. There's no question about that. Against Cincinnati, the number 2 seed, number 15 ranked team in the country. Cincinnati better start shooting it better. Doris just 1 for their last 9.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They are shooting 20% in the second half. They've not made a 3. If they don't make 6 or 7 on the free throw line in the second half, they're in trouble. Vermont will take the longest win streak in the country into the NCAA. The Catamounts 21 up, 0 losses.
SMU's won 15 in a row going to the championship game tomorrow. Let's go to Andy.
Well, thank you, Dave. I mean, if you assume, as Joel Lenardi has posted right now, that Rhode Island is in the field by playing VCU in the A-10 tournament title, that would mean that if UConn were to beat Cincinnati Knight and play SMU for the title tomorrow of any other multiple bid league, they would be the only remaining bid stealer, because you've got Arkansas versus Kentucky, Alabama out. In the Big Ten, you've got Wisconsin and Michigan. As I mentioned, Rhode Island and VCU in the A-10. So if UConn gets that final, the selection committee is going to have to come up with 2 brackets Sunday afternoon.
It's interesting because Joel Lenardi was talking on our game day show about the Atlantic 10 and the American, which both typically have had 4 over the last couple of years, or most of those years. They've had 4 bids. Both looking at 2 unless something special happens here for UConn. So that's where the extra at-larges are for the major conferences.
Brima went for the block. He thought he got all ball there with 12 on the shot clock. As Clark is certainly the go-to man. That'd be number 3 on Brima.
Well, little drop step by Clark going to the basket. There's a foul there. That's a good call, right?
So Clark to the line. The final Bearcat win of the regular season. He was tough. Double-double, 17 points, 14 rebounds. He's often been big on the glass for Cincinnati. They always seem to have, as you look at the fouls on Brima, that guy around 6'7", 6'8", that nobody wants to mess with on the boards.
I think the whole team, though they're tremendously good kids, you don't want to mess with Cincinnati. They're tough-minded. They're going to get down in a defensive stance. You're going to feel it when you play Cincinnati the next day.
Clark, by the way, has scored their last 7 points. So clearly, Mick Cronin is going to number 11. So now UConn looking for the answer, coming up on 11 minutes to play. Brima tripled up, lost it, off the backboard, not there. He picks it up, and the shot clock expires.
You need to pitch it to Purvis in the corner. You had to pitch it. He was standing there with his hands up.
Now they're going to check. They're going to go to the monitor to see if it ever touched the rim.
And we'll see if that's the case. 5th monitor visit of the day.
Yeah, they're wearing it out today.
I didn't think it looked like it. You might have a better, closer look, but from that angle, it didn't look like it hit the rim, the first one. Doesn't look like it to be.
Nope. So shot clock violation, and Cincinnati will have it 53-47, their lead. Kevin Ollie's been working the officials all day. Mick Cronin, the same thing.
Watch the Purvis in the left corner. If you're him, you've got to pass this thing out. Look at all that attention in there. That's an impossible shot. Purvis can light you up.
Had 18 points yesterday in a big quarterfinal upset of Houston. Way downtown. That clangs away by Moore. Purvis wants to push the issue. Adams trying to get going, gets himself a good look, but a bad shot as it turns out.
They've opened the doors on the top floor because the bricks flying all of a sudden. It's got to be the wind. My goodness.
Adams, their leading scorer and assist man, he's had a tough day at the wrong time in this semifinals. Been in deep foul trouble. Approaching 10 minutes to play. Johnson. 2 to shoot. More. No. And another whistle. And that'll go the other way. That'll be against Cincinnati.
Vance Jackson and Clark got tangled up.
That'll go on Clark, just his first. So no trouble for the man who's been a star for the Bearcats today. Nick Cronin's team trying to pick up their 29th victory.
Is this another monitor review?
They're checking to see with 10:01 to go.
Crowd's starting to let this group hear it. Checking to see who the foul is on.
That is review number 6.
Did it go against Vance Jackson? Who is it on after all?
Thought it was against Clark.
That's what I thought. Okay, so Vance Jackson, why is he standing at the free throw line?
.10:01 to play, and they're still at the monitor. Vital took a chance to take a seat. A lot of confusion. Somebody thought there was a 1-and-1 at work. There was not.
I mean, Cincinnati is at least 2 fouls away from that.
Yeah, I don't know why that was confusing anyone. Although I guess you can be forgiven for thinking there are more fouls on the board in this game, as it has been a foul fest, unfortunately. Purvis launching. Not there. Vital really trying to steal that one. Another scramble for it. And a tie-up. Possession arrow keep it on this end. Vital has really been a big story for UConn, hasn't he?
He really has. The energy with which he's played, the competitive spirit. Go ahead, young man. Get in there and fight. You're scrapping amongst the bigs, first to the floor. Absolutely love the effort. Love it.
Vital, just a freshman out of Queens Village, New York. Out of St. Thomas More. At 10 in the first half last night, as UConn was able to stay with Houston.
Keep in mind, this guy was supposed to be about an 8-minute backup. Tariq Gilbert is a guy that had high expectations on him, but Vital has had to step into a larger role.
Adams to the baseline of the kick. And a foul in the lane. 9:13 left.
This is going to be on Moore, and he simply can't believe it.
Number 4 on Quadri Moore. So he'll have to come out. Nick Cronin will go to the bench and bring on Brooks. Lost it. Now a block and a foul against Cincinnati.
Let's look at the last foul on Mr. Moore. Does he in fact foul him? Because the young man looked absolutely shocked. Oh my God, he wasn't even close to him. And I don't mean to be hitting these guys this hard, but he didn't touch him.
Too many fouls. I realize there's a history between the two, but I'm not for predetermining how a game should be called.
Correct.
And I think some of that was at work here today with 9:05 remaining. Adams sinking the first one. 81% at the line.
Very frustrating for players because it's taken away any rhythm. Basketball is a game of rhythm. And it just hasn't felt like there's been any flow to this thing at all.
Well, that last one was simply a phantom foul. It never happened. It's one thing if it happens. That's a big-time collision. Purvis really got hit, as he will quickly rise. He took another smack. He took a harder one last night, but he takes another shot, but winds up committing the foul.
He's going to go for the steal here, but he's so late that he actually gets hit on the back of the head as well when he falls down. Watch his head hit.
That's a good call.
Yes.
That'll put Jacob Evans at the line.
9 minutes to go, and we will shoot free throws every foul from here on out.
Evans, a sophomore now, but as a freshman scored 26 points last spring in an NCAA tournament game against St. Joe's.
This guy, he's gone for 25 twice. He's taken a major step forward. He's going to continue to improve under Mick Cronin.
55-49. In the game, we've had 41 fouls and 44 foul shots. Vital back to Adams. He is dying to be a factor in this game. Nice reverse.
Oh, man, that's just beautiful basketball. And I'll tell you, if he sticks on the right side of that lane, that's a block shot sent into the 5th row. How pretty is the ability to protect that layup attempt by going to the opposite side? That's gorgeous.
Copain putting on the brakes, a whistle off the ball.
Watch Jalen Adams running a high pick and roll. He understands shot blocks. Shot blockers are coming at him, but he uses the cylinder as his protection. How about that split and tough shot? All his momentum carrying him out of bounds. And Kevin Ollie just got a warning from the officials.
Carl Hess, Mike Nance, and Ron Gruber. That was for being out of the coach's box. The reason for that warning, Vance Jackson with the foul to put Clark at the line. And the junior from North Carolina, all net on the first. He has 20 points. Also has 8 rebounds for Cincinnati. Husky fans hoping that UConn can forge another magical run in October. They made it to the semifinals unexpectedly. They're 16-16, down by 6. Purvis handling it. Thought about the shot, 5 to get one off. Jackson got to get a shot in the air. On the spin, fires. Rebounded by Cincinnati. Bodies hitting the deck. Both Clark and Vital went down. Copain over the top and tipped out of play by UConn. We'll take a break right here. 7:24 remaining in the semifinal. Cincinnati with a 6-point lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Frontier Communications, official sponsor of the American Athletic Conference, and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Available now. Rated M for mature.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales event, experience our most elevated SUVs ever, including the LX, GX, RX, and NX. Experience amazing.
It's back. And it's front. No, really. The Triple Double Crunch Wrap Big Box is back. And it's still all mains, no sides with the Doritos Locos Taco, a Crunchy Taco, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Just $5, only at Taco Bell.
In my experience, there are only two things guaranteed to grow. The cash value of your New York Life policy, a policy that keeps your family protected, and my famous Crunch Souffle, which literally never stops growing. Be good at life. New York Life.
I thought you were family. You decide who.
Asset secure.
You decide where. You decide when.
Now we're having fun!
Only you decide how your story begins and how the cartel's ends. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Available now. Rated M for mature.
During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience our most thrilling models ever, including the exhilarating IS, GS, and RC Coupe. Experience amazing.
Back in Bristol, Chris Cotter here with an update on the Big 12. Iowa State and West Virginia. It's a 9-point lead for Iowa State. Extended them solo. Solomon Young with the alley-oop finish. 11 points. It's now back down to 9 points for the Cyclones over on ESPN. Coming up next year on ESPN2, it's the MAC Championship. Jimmy Hall, rebounding machine in Kent State, getting set to take on Akron. Dave?
Chris, thank you. We take a look at our tournament challenge resume. This for Cincinnati, brought to you by Acura. 28-4 right now, an RPI rank of 13. Joe Lunardi has it projected as a 5 seed. Quality wins at Iowa State. They beat Xavier in that great matchup in the city of Cincinnati and SMU. Let's go to Andy Katz.
And if they play SMU again on Sunday, that would give them 4 top 50 wins. Yet the selection committee last year didn't necessarily evaluate those late Sunday afternoon games as much. We'll see if they do that tomorrow.
Clark getting it airborne and draws the foul with 7:19 to go. Cincinnati making a living at the line. 12 of their 16 points in this half have been at the foul line. They're just 1-11 from the field. That foul will go on Jackson, his 3rd for UConn.
Ron Groover making another call there. Feels like his whistle has been the most active today.
Clark buries the first one.
And if this Cincinnati team is walking out of here with the win, they're going to thank this guy at the free throw line. He has now made and attempted more free throws in a game than he has in his career. He has lived there today.
Not bad for a guy who lost most of a tooth early in the game. Pretty tough kid, 59-51. So who do the Huskies turn to? Will it be Adams? Yes.
Well, this is the guy they typically turn to at these moments. This is usually Jalen Adams or Rodney Purvis time. They're their best options and most explosive players.
Still right there for UConn to make a run.
I think Cincinnati needs to hear from Troy Copain.
Once again, it's a determined Clark underneath. No whistle this time. Stolen away by Rodney Purvis. .6:20 to go. Jackson. Adams wants the lane. He scoops it up for 2.
He is dynamic. He's fearless, and these are the moments he enjoys. For Mick Cronin, Troy Copain is stuck on 9 points, 4 assists, and 1 turnover. It's exactly what he had in the first half.
Adams has scored the last 8 points for the Huskies. Copain, yes! Big 3. That was on cue.
And this guy has been in the uniform longer than anybody. He has proven himself capable.
That's the first Cincinnati field goal in the last 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Scoring everything at the line. Adams again. No, not this time. 62-55. Copain, the senior, averages 5 assists a game, has over 500 in an outstanding career for Cincinnati. Looking for another one here. Yes! On target, Jacob Evans.
From Copain, and that causes a timeout. How about your senior point guard pointing at mom? My goodness gracious, just like that, it's a 10-point game, and it feels a lot different all of a sudden in this building. Copain collapses the defense, the pitch to the other side of the floor, and he delivers. Had been a while, but watch him make the three. Where's my mom, Renee? She's come a long way. Mama, I'm your boy. Did you see that shot? Renee says, oh, son, go to work. Go to work.
His #1 fan almost never misses a game, home or road.
He's got 5 assists now, Troy Copain. I believe he needed 7, correct, to set the Cincinnati record. He is on record as saying it means a great deal to him should he be able to break that record. 1 away to tie Mr. Vaughn.
Well, the 134 games that Troy has played in his Cincinnati career, Renee has managed to get to 124 of them. That's amazing. That's a lot of long drives, I'll tell you that. Adams again. That time got it to go and one. So Adams at the line for a three-point play. He scored their last 10.
He rejects the screen, still has to get by 2 white jerseys, has to put some English on it. And how about this? He gets by Copain and then goes by Brooks. Nice.
Well, he's doing what he did last night as he makes that foul shot. When he scored 18 in the second half, Clark is cramping up a little bit. And for the moment, that's a key loss for the Bearcats. Can UConn take advantage under 5 minutes left in this semifinal? And a 7-point lead for Cincinnati. But they do have Copain #10 on the floor.
Yeah, you've got Jacob Evans, too. Don't forget about him.
8 on the shot clock. Now 6. Copain to drive it. Airborne blocked by Brima. Got it back. Got it back in play. Taken away by UConn. This is a big shot coming up for the Huskies. Adams wants to take it again and draws the foul.
Well, he is just flat out deciding, I'm putting my head down. I'm going to get myself to the rack, and I'm either going to score it or get to the free throw line. This kid has got unbelievable driving ability. He gets anywhere he wants on the floor. And I think this is as much about, I need a breather before I shoot these free throws.
That's a well-schooled player right there. Well, all of a sudden the shoe's untied when you're exhausted. Out of Roxbury, Massachusetts, the sophomore drains the first. And you want him at the line. He's 81%. Quadri Moore coming back on the floor. So is Clark.
You know what Jalen Adams has really improved at to me? It's not do me basketball, right? He can't be just I'm going to do for me. He's got to do for the guys around him as well. And he has done a better job of that this year.
Averaging almost 6 assists a game.
But he does have a feel for, okay, we need a score. I'm going to go ahead and put you on my back.
I would say he has a feel for the big moment. He has shown that in this tournament against Cincinnati. But will that happen again? Or will Cincinnati finally get their revenge against UConn? Clark again, another touch, facing on his back. On the spin, the give for Moore, he can't connect. Brima went for the save, and it's going to stay on this end with 3:38 remaining. We'll take a break, 65-60 Cincinnati. Back to the studio, here's Chris Cotter.
All right, Dave, just a reminder, just underway here, the MAC championship between Akron and Kent State. They're playing this one in Quicken Loans Arena. And as soon as we come to the conclusion of our game between Cincinnati and UConn, we'll send you to Kent State and Akron. More from Hartford after this.
Hand-cut tomatoes, fresh original dough. You'd expect those from a pizza family. But here's something you didn't see coming. Get a 2-topping pan or large pizza from Papa John's, just $9.99. That's right, only $9.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Out! Get! Did you find everything okay, sir? What?
4 distinct driving modes. Dynamic handling. Quicker shifts. Make every car a performance car. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, and this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance, and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass a membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
It's not who you pick, it's where you pick. And this top seed is a lock. The #1 bracket game in the land. ESPN Tournament Challenge. So find a group of friends, a group of coworkers, or a group of anyone you know you can beat. Then pick your sleepers, pick your Cinderella, or pick last year's top cat. Follow your bracket and get the latest tournament news from anywhere. Sign up at espn.com/bracket or download the app today.
Huskies get it into Adams, full court heave. He hits! He hits! He hits! He hits! From midcourt, Jalen Adams with 0.8 of a second to go.
And a classic that went 4 overtimes before UConn pulled it out. Cincinnati will long remember the name Jalen Adams. He has come to life in the second half, Doris, with 17.
Well, the last non-Jalen Adams point scored for the Connecticut Huskies was at the 11:52 mark. He's got 13 straight.
And now they look for a stop with 3:38 to go. And Cincinnati on top by 5. Clark has been their main man with 23. He also has 9 rebounds. Cumberland way downtown. That glances away. They're going to get a foul on the floor with 3:28 to play. A Sunday night at 7 on ESPN. Bracketology presented by Allstate. ESPN revealing the NCAA men's field of 68. Reese, Jay Williams, Jay Billis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie V hosting our college hoop experts roundtable. Basie just picked up foul number 5. So he is fouled out for UConn.
Wow, I'll tell you, Gary Clark has now gone 13 for 14 from the free throw line. He's got a couple of more attempts here. And Kyle Washington got bailed out. I did not think that was a good shot at all. Absolutely horrible with a 5-point lead and the ball. So he should be shaking Mr. Clark's hand saying thank you. Mick might have pulled me had you not come up with that.
Clark has been in a terrific groove at the foul line, as you mentioned. Another one coming. Really been the difference in the game. He's 14 out of 15. Guy who averages 10 points a game, but has been a star for the Bearcats offensively. And back on is Brooks. 67-60, Cincinnati. You don't feel like there's any panic with the Bearcats.
No, they're so level. When you've won as many games as they have over the last 3 years, 6 straight NCAA, going to your 7th.
Adams trying to split the D. The return won't fall. He gets it back out for Purvis. Oh, he got a great look there, but he missed it, and another whistle. And that foul will go against the Huskies. That will be on Grima, his 4th. And down the other end we go with 3:02 remaining. Cincinnati to shoot again. 4 fouls, 4 points for the 7-foot center.
Well, I guarantee you, anytime Cincinnati's going to have the basketball for the final 3:02, they're going to play through Gary Clark on the post, because you can go right at Grima. You've got no consequence. He's got 25 already.
His career high is 26. This time it's Brooks at the line. 6'11" freshman from Philadelphia. Number 2. Vitale there with the rebound. An 8-point lead for Cincinnati in this semifinal. The winner gets SMU in the championship game. That'll be an offensive foul. Ollie beside himself on that call.
Let's take one look at this. I thought it looked like a good call. He's standing there waiting for him. I mean, he sells it a little bit.
I thought he sold it a lot. That was minimal contact. I think that's a predetermined call, Doris.
Yeah, it's almost like you're protecting it again. It's not been a great afternoon for these guys. No question about it.
2:50 to go. There have been plenty of legitimate fouls.
Yep.
No argument there. Cincinnati sitting on an 8-point lead. Evans running some clock here. That's a smart move. Cincinnati looking for the 29th win. He fires. That's as smooth as it gets.
Nice, easy one-on-one play. You flatten your guys out and say, okay, Mr. Evans, create a shot, and he does it. And UConn going to use a timeout.
Well, they feel it's starting to slip away. Cincinnati by 10.
So Cincinnati, it's about managing time and scores. So as you said, he's dancing with the ball. They're inside of 5 seconds. Just gets himself, walks that defender right down to the free throw line. Says, let me get you to my sweet spot, Jalen Adams. And then he's the only guy in the building who knows when he wants to pull the trigger. And to the rise and fire, it was fast.
Champ Week and all the drama continues tonight. 2 championship games coming on ESPN. The New York Life ACC at 9 o'clock. Tune in for number 5 Duke against Notre Dame. And the Pac-12 championship game presented by New York Life, capping off the night at 11. Number 1 Oregon and number 2 Arizona. And both are streaming live on the ESPN app.
No reason for you to leave your couch. That's 2 great basketball games, and you get the possibility of whatever Bill Walton might say on that Pac-12 championship.
Whatever it may be. Well, we've been entertained certainly by Gary Clark's performance, 6'8" junior for Cincinnati. He's been the man today.
He sure has, and I thought you said it. He's a force on the boards. He loses a tooth. He doesn't even worry about it. How about the inbound play? They go to him for the lob. He's been dynamic at drawing fouls, splits defenders, uses the up fake. He plays at his tempo. He doesn't get sped up simply because there are bodies around him. He's just playing.
I think it's a great line, because I think as Clark has gone, as far as that tempo, that's how the Bearcats have gone. 25 points. He's been almost automatic at the foul line.
And they have been flawless, valuing the basketball, Cincinnati. 1 turnover this half in 24 possessions. This is a road game, and you have performed beautifully.
Tell you what, it bodes really well for Cincinnati in the NCAA tournament. Vitale off target. You can come into an environment like this, another tie-up as Washington pulls it away.
Boy, how good was that rebound? Cup it like you're a running back and say, nobody's taking this away from me. Not without fouling me.
Under 2 minutes to go. And UConn can feel their season beginning to come to an end here at the hands of Cincinnati. Copain with a miss, but they get it back. A second effort. 1:40 left.
Surprised you're not fouling or trapping. There you go.
No fouls being committed, though.
Yeah, I was surprised. I think they were trying to go for the steal, and now that you've wasted 15 seconds, I don't know that you want to do it here at this point.
Evans working on the freshman. Just hit a big shot moments ago. Comes another one, and that one rolls off the iron. But time running out. 1:10 left. Jackson drawing the contact there with 1:09 to play. Cincinnati by 10. Foul on Copain, his second. So time to shoot here for Jackson. He'll get 2 shots. Freshman from Los Angeles, and once again to the monitor. He's gotten a lot of visits here today. And now they're going to say it's a 3-pointer that he was attempting. So it's 3 shots for Jackson. Absolutely has to hit them all, and the first one goes. If UConn's going to have any lingering chance here.
Still a 3-possession game, even if he does.
Kevin Johnson back on now for the Bearcats. And Washington will take a seat. This to make it a 7-point game.
Make or miss here, you got to come with some pressure, I think. Look for a quick trap and a steal. Otherwise, you're going to try to make Cincinnati make free throws.
He makes 2 of 3. And a foul. That'll put Evans at the line, the sophomore, to the other end with 1:06 showing. These will be the 59th and 60th free throws of this semifinal. That's been a big story, and so is the performance of Gary Clark. Cincinnati shooting foul shots better in this semifinal than they typically do.
No doubt. And if I'm them, I come with a little soft pressure here. You keep everybody in front. They're going to come all the way back. Kevin Ollie going to use a timeout.
So we'll take the break too. Right now we'll toss it back to Chris Cotter in the studio.
Dave, again, just reminding everybody this MAC championship game is going on right now over on ESPN News. And Kent State and Akron, and Kent State's Jalen Walker takes it the distance. Akron couldn't throw it into Lake Erie to start the game, but they're heated up a little bit, so it's a 3-point contest right now, Dave.
Chris, thank you. 72-62 Cincinnati. Bearcats 1:06 away from going to the championship game and giving the American Conference a 1-2 as far as seeding championship.
And Mick Cronin, what a job he has done. Most wins under the age of 50. It is Mick Cronin with 304 and 3 very good names up in front of him. He has been spectacular.
Mick now in his 11th year. And a strong offensive team is Bearcats this year, averaging 75 points a game. Adams has it batted away. Minute to go.
You're guarding without fouling. You're trying very hard if you're Cincinnati not to give up any threes. Tough twos won't hurt you, but you're definitely trying to run Connecticut off that 3-point line.
Jackson. His 3. That'll drop in. 55 seconds to play. 7-point game and another foul as Copain is fouled. Purvis with his 4th. SMU winning earlier today in the first semifinal against UCF. So SMU, the outright champ, advancing to the championship game of the tournament. And Copain drops in the first one. Well, you got to give Cincinnati credit at the line. They have been very strong today. Another one coming for Copain. They've made 30 out of 37. 31 for 38. A lot of foul shots. Adams drops in the three-pointer.
This is not over. I mean, my goodness, it's 6 points. It's 2 possessions at this point. Now UConn can really go for a steal off a trap if you can get it.
And looking to foul right away. Jackson does. He fouls Cumberland.
You got to have your heels on the three-point line and say, go ahead and make a tough 2. And the one guy who's going to hear it, he's basically telling you guys, the only thing that can hurt you is the 3-ball, right? So you're retreating, Kevin Johnson, but step up and meet him. My goodness.
So it'll be 2 for Cumberland. He makes 64%. Named by the coaches to the conference all-rookie team. And the free throws keep on coming for the Bearcats. It's as if their free throw shooting's gotten contagious today.
Yeah, and make a decision. If you're not going to push up in soft pressure and make the ball handler turn direction, at least waste some clock, then get your heels on the three-point line and meet him there.
Here's their 40th foul shot. I don't know if I've called a game all season, Doris, in which one team has taken 40. Oh, that's a tough shot. Vitale makes that and draws the foul as well.
Tell you what, they are making progress with plenty of time left. An opportunity to put this at 5 if you make the free throw. So we talk about making tough 2s, but don't foul. And a tremendous job by Vitale, who's had one heck of an afternoon, to get into the chest and draw it.
He has 17, along with 8 rebounds.
Yeah, so Jackson out.
Noyes is in. The walk-on for the second time.
So you're downsizing. You lose a little size, but more pressure on the defensive end. Another foul. Person who has fouls to give.
Vitale 71%. That's a three-point play.
You've got so many UConn guys with 4 fouls. This is why he's in the ballgame.
Adams with 4, Jackson 4, Purvis and Bryma with 4. Facey's fouled out. Adams getting ready to come back in. And Copain immediately tied up. Vitale wanted a traveling violation. This, by the way, is the most fouls. And the crowd has been raining insults on the officiating crew here the last 10 minutes. 30-plus fouls for the first time since that classic 6 overtime game. That took 6 overtimes. This is still regulation, Doris.
It's just been a brutal afternoon, really.
Copain. They keep on making them. Jackson back in now.
This is going to up that percentage for Cincinnati.
They very calmly stepped to the line and made shot after shot. Copain, the senior. And number 2 on target. So back up to a 7-point game. Adams all the way through. The Dipsy-do no. Rebounded away by Cincinnati. Copain gets away. No foul committed there. Got the pass away to Cumberland, and finally he's fouled with 31.8 left on the clock. Cincinnati's made 83% of their foul shots as Purvis is fouled out. That's it for the senior. His last game here, fouling out with 10. Did not have the semifinal that he wanted. Nothing close to his quarterfinal.
Well, they don't advance to this point without the first game he played of the first night of this tournament.
Transfer from NC State with his head down. Tough way to go out. If in fact it is the end, 31.8 to go.
And the crowd chanting his name.
So Cumberland at the line. Another make, and again 83%, so much better than their 67% average at the foul line. It would be a completely different game if Cincinnati was just shooting what they normally do.
Correct.
Makes one of two. He followed his own miss. He kept it alive for Cincinnati. Now Copain fouled, 27.3 on the clock.
Don't tell me these kids aren't invested and that they don't care. This kid is inconsolable right now.
Boy, when you can see the end, and it's right in front of you, your college career. Ronnie Purvis averaging 14 points a game in his final season, scored over 1,000 points with UConn. Coach and player.
That's beautiful.
Copain drops that one in. So back up to a 10-point lead. UConn with 12 points from field goals in this half and 28 points at the line. Adams got that up there, tapped away.
Yeah, UConn gonna let it go here.
Evans will dribble it. 10 seconds to go. And Cincinnati really won this at the foul line. Again, 28 foul shots made in that second half. 28 for 31. And Cincinnati moves on to the championship game. 81-71 the final. And the season is over for UConn. No magical march to the championship this year.
Well, a game that featured so many stops. The guys had to continue to play through it. Cincinnati split the regular season matchups with the SMU Mustangs, and I cannot wait for this championship game. The best two teams in the conference all year will square off. I imagine Cincinnati's anxious for an opportunity to prove themselves.
That'll be at 3:15 tomorrow. So there's your bracket. We're set for the championship in the American Conference at 3:15 tomorrow. Join us on ESPN for SMU and Cincinnati, number 1 against number 2. Let's go to Andy with Mick Cronin.
All right, thank you, Dave. Mick, you had a player lose a tooth. You had a double technical. You had a flagrant. How would you describe the physical nature of this basketball game?
Exactly what I told our team was coming. You know, they got the heart of a lion. They always have. They've just had a lot of injuries this year. And, you know, I think people don't realize how hard it is to do what Kevin Ollie did this year. Playing shorthanded, being at a big-time program. As you know, I had to do it when I took over and we were shorthanded. And that's when you really show what you're made of. Your team doesn't quit. They haven't quit all year, so I have a lot of respect for them.
What did your team show you in their ability to hold off UConn, this crowd, and make free throws down the stretch?
Well, and the three-point shots, you know, we won with offense today. You know, we couldn't stop them in the second half. We got a lot of answers. We don't get talked about a lot, as you know, and I kid you about it. But Troy Copain's a good player, Jacob Evans, and we got a lot of really good players on this team. Gary Clark was Superman for a while, and Kyle Washington didn't even really get to show who he is today. So we've had a great year because we got really good players.
We'll see you Sunday for round 3.
All right, buddy.
Well, he's right. Gary Clark was terrific today, 25 points. Make no mistake, they won it at the line. 38 out of 46 for Cincinnati. So as part of Champ Week, they are on to the championship. For Andy and Doris, I'm Dave O'Brien. Join us for the championship tomorrow in the American Conference at 3:15 on ESPN. Have a great night, everybody.